the Scrub and you're here for one reason. Quick warning, these are massive spoilers for the 6.0 story and the entire MSQ as a whole. If you are not up to this point in the story, I would recommend coming back and watching the video later. For now though, let's begin. We have brought light to the darkness and begun the downfall of the star. We must now face the light to show that we have what it takes to conquer it all. We are the God Killer. It's time to kill our God. Time to learn about the Mothercrystal. Simplified. The glowing AoE around the arena is a death wall. Touching this will require a prescription of resurrection. Hydaelyn will start with the buff of Heros's Mantle. This will change throughout the fight. Keep this in mind for later. Heros's Radiance is a room-wide AoE. Hydaelyn will then move into the middle of the arena and cast Dawn Mantle. You will need to pay attention to the colour of the symbol that briefly appears around her or the buff in her status effects to see what weapon she changes to when the cast ends. If the symbols are red, she will change to Dancer weapons. She will then perform an untelegraphed Donut AoE with the only safe zone being inside her hitbox. Failing to get in the hitbox will give you a Vuln stack. She will then cast Morse's Scorn. This is a shared tank buster. This means that both tanks must take the stack marker together. If you are a non-tank and you stack up with the tanks for this mechanic, you will become instantly intimate with the ground. If the symbols are green, she will change to a White Mage's Staff. She will then perform an untelegraphed medium-sized point-blank AoE around herself. You'll need to get a little bit away from her to dodge the AoE. If you don't get far enough away, you'll get a Vuln stack. She will then cast Magossa's Radiance, which is a room-wide AoE. If the symbols are blue, she will change to a Paladin's Sword. She will then perform untelegraphed straight-line AoEs that are the width of her hitbox in the cardinal directions around the arena. So you'll need to move to a spot towards the intercardinals to dodge the AoEs. Getting hit by either of the straight line AoEs will give you a Vuln stack. She will then cast Heros's Sundering. This is a conal cleaving tank buster. Tanks will need to point this away from the group and everyone else shouldn't stand with the tank. Mechanics will begin to repeat until Hydaelyn says Crystals of Light to me, where she will become untargetable and change the arena while summoning 6 different coloured crystals around the arena. All of them will become targetable and a bar labelled Conviction will appear. If this bar fills, Hydaelyn will perform her ultimate and wipe the group. You will need to extinguish the power of all 6 crystals by defeating them as fast as possible. During this ad phase, several echoes of Hydaelyn will appear on either the outside of the arena or between the crystals on the west and east side. If an echo appears on the outside of the arena, it will perform a straight line proximity marker with the cast of Hydaelyn's Ray. Players will need to get away from this marker as best they can without going into the wall to reduce the overall damage. If the echo appears on the west side of the arena, it will gather Earth Ether and place a stack marker on a random party member with the cast of Crystalline Stone 3. Group up to share the damage. If the echo appears on the east side of the arena, it will gather Ice Ether and give all players a small point blank AoE. Players will need to spread out and avoid overlapping these. After all 6 crystals have been defeated, Hydaelyn will cast Exodus, which is her ultimate, change the arena back to normal, and become targetable again. Mechanics from the first phase will repeat. Before every Dawn Mantle from here, she will cast Crystallize. These are the same mechanics that her echoes performed during the ad phase. Her weapon will either be imbued with Earth or Ice Ether, which you'll be able to see from the effects around her and the lasting effect around the weapon. This will cause an extra mechanic to happen while the Dawn Mantle mechanic is resolving. If it's Earth Ether, one player will get a stack marker, so everyone will need to group up and share the damage. And if it's Ice Ether, all players will get small point blank AoEs, so everyone will need to spread out and avoid overlapping these as best they can. Hydaelyn will move to the north end of the arena and cast Parhelic Circle. A large orb of light will appear in the middle of the arena with green lines extending from its position. 6 of the lines will be long, ending near the wall, and 3 of the lines will be short. When the cast ends, the orb will split along these lines and create medium-sized point blank AoEs in the middle of the arena and on the endpoints of these lines. The easy trick to this is to stand between 2 long lines that don't have a small line in between them. Getting hit by any of these AoEs will give you a Vuln stack. The cast of Parhelion will create a fan of straight line AoEs in 3 directions, 120 degrees apart, around the arena. These will send out chakrams that will hover in place once they hit the wall. After all 3 sets of AoEs have gone off, Hydaelyn will cast Sub-Parhelion, which will fire the chakrams in straight line AoEs back through the middle of the arena. The trick to this one is to stand opposite the 3rd set of chakrams that spawned in and wait for the 1st set of chakrams to fire. You can move into this first set after they go past to avoid the other 2 sets of AoEs. You'll get a Vuln stack per AoE you are hit by. Eventually, Hydaelyn will cast Radiant Halo. This is a room-wide AoE that will bathe the arena in a flood of light. The cast of Light Wave will spawn 4 waves of light on different points on the outside of the arena. Then Hydaelyn will cast Echoes, which will give one player a multi-hit stack marker. Everyone will need to stay grouped up as much as possible to share the damage from the multiple hits. When the stack marker is finished, the waves will begin to move in a straight line in the direction the wave is facing through the arena. Being caught in a wave will damage you for every tick that you're inside it. The easiest way to dodge the waves is to locate which 2 of the 4 waves are closest together. You will need to move to the opposite corner to where these waves are located. The duty support system will get the NPCs to follow you so you can start to take the stack marker towards the opposite corner so you don't have far to travel to get to the safe zone. From here, the mechanics of Light Wave, Echoes, Crystallize, and Dawn Mantle will repeat until Hydaelyn has been defeated. Congratulations, you have defeated Hydaelyn. My name is The Scrub. Thank you for watching.